Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bikini in the Brain. I'm here with the lovely Ashley Cotwalser.
Hello.
We are counting down to the Olympia.
3.5 weeks.
Whoa, 3.3. 3.5. It's a crazy one.
How many cardio minutes are left to Olympia?
Oh, for you, like three.
3 cardio minutes.
Three in. Can you give 3 intense cardio minutes? I think we'll be ready.
I wish.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit more than that. So it's not much though, right? It's not going to be that much more.
Hopefully not. We'll see.
Yeah. What's like 21 days times like 30 minutes on average, right? That's not bad.
Yes.
Like 11 hours of cardio, 11
really?
and a half.
Oh God, now that sounds really long when you put it like that.
Yeah. All right. 10 and a half. It's like 10 and a half. 21 days, about 10 and a half.
Yeah. That's actually a really daunting number when you think about it. That's a long time.
Just do it all tomorrow. Just be done.
Yeah. It'll only take half a day.
Just a half a day of cardio and you're done.
Yes.
So
for this week, I thought it would be really good to pick at Adam's brain about the Olympia because I see a lot that everyone wants to know what the athletes are up to during the Olympia preps. How are you feeling? What are you doing? But no one really asks the coaches. So let's stop that. And we're going to ask Adam today about the Olympia. So I'm going to ask him a lot of questions and we're going to talk.
Yeah, I think this would be good for any athlete out there wondering. I think because a lot of times the athletes are always wondering about, and you should be very concerned and focused on your prep, but also what's going on with your coach. Like even if you're just getting ready for a local show, what are your coaches thinking? What are your coaches' expectations for you? How are your actions, affecting how they're prepping you and that type of thing. So it's good. I think it's good to see the both sides of it, type of thing. And yeah, and kind of go from there, because all these little things come up, all these little tiny things come up and it matters. So
absolutely. So Coach Adam, you have 3 athletes competing at the Olympia this year. So you're going to be a very busy man, but how many amateurs are you bringing?
Ooh,
or do we not know yet?
Off the top of my head, me personally, 3.
Okay.
1 is a maybe because she's in school and it's still, she lives in Vegas. So it's possible, but I think she's actually has a really good chance of winning. So I hope she does it. She got second at the last show. What was the last one? North Americans was the last one. Yeah. At Nationals. So I think there'd be a good chance there. So hopefully, but it's, school's going to be, so it's always one of those things too. And there's another athlete flying in from the UK is a really good chance too. We won it last year, won the bikini overall last year. So it'd be cool to do that again, but it's so hard. That's like one of those titles is like Miss USA. It's like so hard. Like you just doing well there is great, but winning that would be sweet. So
absolutely. So you're bringing, let's say, about 6 athletes from just you, not the other coaches.
Yeah.
So you're going to be super busy. The good news is though, the amateurs go on before the pros. So you'll have maybe like half a day to relax.
Yeah.
Probably not. But
Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday.
Thursday is the busiest day of the Olympia for me.
Yeah.
And you follow along. So it's going to be busy for both
It's going to be busy. Yeah. We'll see how, we don't even know how busy it'll be yet either. Because all these things could happen.
All I know is Thursdays are always the busiest.
Yeah. Especially the nighttime and potentially the press conference potentially, and we never know how who they're going to have for that, or the meetings and the sponsors and the
check-in TAN appointments. Yep.
Oh man, that's a crazy day. You got to eat. I know. Yeah. But yeah. So that's the one thing, you always got to schedule time to eat and drink water. The hard part about drinking water is you're so busy that you have to go to if you drink as much as usually, you have to go to the restroom. And then we have to take that into account. You might be at a booth for 2 hours, or a press conference for an hour, or whatever, check-ins for like, you just don't know what's going to happen. So getting your food in will be critical that day too. So that's the one thing I think about already, right? Like, I was actually going to eat and drink. It's important to keep that consistent, You
guys need to make sure your coach is hydrated too, though.
Yeah. But
have you been drinking water?
I have been. Okay. I usually undereat. Good thing Kimber has been my wife now for three. This will be the 4th Olympia she has been. So or 3rd, I don't know, 3rd or 4th one that she's been there. So she keeps me fed and hydrated, and she moms me pretty good. Good. She gets me taken care of. But yeah, that's something that is really difficult. Just staying fed. Honestly, like, I mean, there's some days where I'll like, I'm rushing there, you're rushing. And then you get to the end of the day and you're like, did I even eat today? Like, I've literally haven't had a moment, the whole day.
It's that busy.
Crazy. The Olympia is crazy. So, yeah. So, and it'll be crazy starting on Tuesday for me, really, because the amateurs that are coming in too.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun week. It'll be a hard week, but it'll be fun.
So if Adam doesn't return your text on the week of the Olympia, this is not applying to the athletes. Of course, you'll text them back. But if you're just a random friend, the week of the Olympia, same for me. Don't expect a response. I'm just going to be busy. It's
a busy time. Yeah. So, and it's busy with the amateurs and the pros because everyone's there, but so it means so much to everyone that's there. That's the difference of this show and other shows. You have some shows. I have a girl competing this weekend who's doing the Olympia. She needs to qualify. We're not even peaking her. She's just eating, she's not stressed. She's not worried about it. But like the Olympia comes around, it's a different thing, like if we win that show, cool, great. She's in a position that she could. And, but the Olympia is like, there's none of that. Like everything matters, every single thing matters. So, as much as the athletes prioritize it, the coaches need to prioritize it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Adam, as a coach, what does the Olympia mean to you?
You know what is funny? I think that people don't realize this as a coach. Like most of the good coaches were athletes themselves and grew up in competitive sports. So I'm friends with all these coaches now. All the guys, like I see them all the time. We're all friends. We're like, it's kind of like you're like all like work associates, honestly, right? It's almost like if you work for a big company and you're all like on this like sales team, but you still want to be number one. You're friends with all these guys, but you still want to be number one between them. And when a guy gets you and he has like a good month or something, you're like, oh, that bastard, he got me this month, that type of thing. So it's kind of the same thing that the coaches deal with. And they don't get a lot of athletes don't get like most of the coaches who do this that have been doing it for as long as I have, like most of them, they don't do it because they have to at this point. They just do it because it's like their hobby. Like, like Kim or something, like he's never going to retire. He says, the same as me. It's the hobby now. It's not because you need the income or anything. It's just because you want to compete. You need something to compete. You used to compete. And now I want to beat him. I want to beat him. He wants to beat me. And it's like a fun thing. But so people don't get that. That's how we compete. That's our hobby of competing. And just like athletes that want to get to the Olympia, and it's like their dream to get to the Olympia, it's the same thing as a coach when you're coming up into it. Yeah. People don't get it. It's like when, you have all these athletes and like, oh, I want to get to the Olympia. I want to get to the Olympia. It's my dream. It's my dream. And as a coach, it's like, it's my dream to get to Olympia too. And it's my dream to have consistent years there too. That's the other thing too. It's like, you want to have X years in a row or whatever and always be there if you can, and it's hard. It's not easy, to get there. So, yeah, it's a moment for every coach and everyone coach who gets there and whatnot. It's also the same as like the athlete. It's like, okay, I'm good enough. I made it here. I'm good enough at least to get to the top tier. Might be at the bottom of the top tier when I first start, but at least I got to the top tier.
That is awesome. You mentioned that because I can think of like coaches that maybe they have just a few athletes and one of them happened to qualify for Olympia. Like that puts them on the map.
Yeah.
Now they have a lot of credibility to their name. But it is quite an accomplishment, especially for maybe a coach that's not ever qualified anyone. Yeah. I can only imagine the feeling of being like, yeah, they made it.
Yeah. It's the same thing. And for some of these coaches, it takes them 10 plus years, if it's not easy. Like it's hard to get there as a coach too, because you have to remember, like to get there as a coach, you need the athletes to trust you. And if you've never gotten anyone there, then athletes they kind of leave you at a certain point, So it's like, it's really difficult for a coach. It's like a big step, because if you've never gotten anyone there and you have an athlete that has some promise to them, they're usually going to be like maybe with you a year or two. And then they're like, oh, well, he doesn't even have experience at the Olympia or getting into Olympia. So I need to go with someone who has more experience. So it's like, it's like that type of thing where you apply for a job and they say, oh, well, we need someone with more experience. And they're like, well, how do I get experience when I don't get the job? So for a coach to get that first leap, it's like a big deal. It's a big deal. It's sometimes harder for the coaches because of that factor. Like you can't just, as an athlete, you just got to get better. But as a coach, it's like, you got to get them better, but they got to stay with you in that gap.
Yes.
And then when they're with you in that gap and they get there, then you're like, okay, I got there. And then and now it's like, okay, I can get people there. Right.
Yes.
So trust me, So it's kind of one of those things. So it's, the first one's always the hardest one. And some of these coaches just never get there. So
it's like the trust, I think, is a big thing. because when searching for coaches, do you go with one that's never qualified anyone for Olympia, but maybe has a lot of credentials and he's really smart? Or do you go with the guy that's, qualified a few, but maybe he doesn't have the credentials? So it can definitely boost that resume a lot, I think. But yeah, trust, that's a big thing.
Yeah. It just, you have to, that's if you are a race car driver, you're going to go with the race car team that has the fastest car.
Yes.
You're not going to be like, oh, well, I'll give, this Honda a shot. Maybe they can go just as fast as the Ferraris. It's like, no, they can't go as fast as Ferraris. Ferrari's been doing this forever.
Yeah.
Like so it's a tough thing. And so, yeah, it's definitely like a cool thing. It's fun. There's prestige to it. And every time you do it, it's, especially with an athlete like you, which has its own dynamic. It's like, going to the Super Bowl, really. It's like with a team that could win, and it's like, hey, we could beat the Jets this year. Like we might be able to beat the Jets this year. You never know.
It is a cool thing to think about, but do you also feel pressure like I do? I feel a crap ton of pressure this year, and I don't think you have as much as me, but do you feel any pressure at all or any stress around the event?
I don't have as much. Well, I guess I should say I'm better at dealing with the pressure than I used to be, I guess. I'll say. And at this point, I care very little about other people's opinions about me. What I used to care a lot. It takes many years to get to that point, because what I realized is that all the people who talk, one, I don't go online for like things like that anymore either, but I used to like go online, read comments, all that stuff. So then I realized one day, do I really care about what like some 20-year-olds that I'll never meet in real life, that'll never be part of my life, says or cares about me? Like, I don't see them. I don't care about them. So this pressure I'm putting on myself is like fake. It's fake pressure, because I don't know will ever know who they are or care about that person ever in my life. Like, so it's like, why would I care? And then there was this fighter who really put things in perspective for me, which might be good for you too, to hear this. His name was George St. Pierre, right? And he was like one of the best fighters ever in the UFC, George St. Pierre, Canadian, he's an awesome, honorable guy. And he was saying the same thing. He was like, all this pressure's on me because I'm the world champion. And every time I fight, I feel so much pressure, and it's messing up my game, and it's messing up my focus and messing up everything. And it could mess up the coach's focus too. You could second guess things, And he said he went to the grocery store, and there was like a lady there, and she had no idea who I was. Then I was driving around town, and nobody had any idea who I was. Then he's like, I went all these places and no one knew who I was. I said, so if the whole world isn't watching me the way I think they are, and they just don't care if I win or lose, why do I put all this pressure on me? Because it's from external places where I'm seeking validation from them and like caring about doing good for them instead of just doing my best, And so that's kind of was like put things in perspective for me too. And I'm like, this guy's doing things on a level where the whole world really is watching, and at a factor of, bodybuilding versus like UFC is like, a factor of 100x, right? And if he cannot put that pressure on himself, I could take the pressure off myself too, and just trust my eye and trust my judgment that I'm going to make the right call and never second guess. And that's another thing too, as a coach. I will recommend that as a coach to people. If you're a coach or if you're an athlete, let them just do their thing and don't put it in their minds or read comments or whatever that, oh, she's too lean, or she's too this, or she's too, because you start believing it. Like, is she too lean? Is she too soft? Is she too this? And then you start like not trusting your eye, and like, no, your eye's what got you here. You could do this. Like, trust yourself, and that's an important thing, I think, for the coaches too, who can kind of hear the noise and it start messing them up off track of what got them there. I will say too, the other reason that it's less pressure with you is that, one, it's a lot of pressure with you. Yeah, but it's less pressure with you specifically. Like, so I should say the Ashley Cotwalser situation is always going to be pressure filled.
Yes, I do. I think I bring a lot of that. So yeah. Sorry.
100%, right? Because I mean, let's face it, you're the GOAT, right? So that's always pressure filled. But the good thing about the Ashley Cotwalser situation is you don't become the Ashley Cotwalser without constantly putting in the right work. So because I can trust you in that, it makes my job very easy, because it's not going to be because you didn't do what you needed to do. If something happens, whatever, but it's not that you're going to do what you need to do. The problem is like, I've had other athletes that will say that they're putting in all the work. They say they're doing this. They tell their audience that they're putting in all the work, but behind the scenes, they're not. Right. And when they're not doing that behind the scenes and they're like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm killing it and I'm coming back and I'm doing this and I'm crushing it. And then their audience thinks, oh man, she's really coming. She's going to bring it. But behind the scenes, like we know what happens, like behind the scenes, and they're gaining weight in prep and they're not following their diet and this, but they're not telling anyone. Right. So then it comes to showtime and they're off. They're not in shape. Who do people blame?
Yeah.
Me. 100% me.
I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. So that's different.
Yes.
You know, if you're off and you did all the work and you listen to what I said, my fault. I'll take it. I'll take whatever they say. But if you're off and you didn't do the work and you say that you did everything and you're just putting it on me, like I'm the jerk, right? And I just have to eat it. F that. Get away from me. Like you're off the team, you know? So it's a different scenario with you though. So because the pressure is because you're never going to come in and be like, oh, Adam, I fell off track and I gained 10 pounds like 2 weeks out from the Arnold.
Actually,
you know, like,
I didn't say this, but I'm just
podcast is off. So because of that, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit easier. And you're like, okay, you know, there are factors, hormonal factors. You could, you know, have your period the day before the show and get bloated in your waistline. You could not sleep for a week because you're stressed. You know, we're not dealing with you running the fastest race, you know, which even that has its factor. You can have injury, you know?
Yeah.
We're dealing with all these external factors, and we have to take a step back and like not put that pressure on you and me, because like you could look like the Ashley Cotwelser cutout like you did last year, right? But you know, there's no guarantee that it's going to happen. It's a body, right? Yeah. It's just a body.
This is what I really want to get across. When people say good luck, not that you need it. No, I need luck. We all need luck.
Always gonna be a luck factor.
There's always going to be luck involved with winning. You just got to make sure everything just goes your way on show day. And sometimes it's beyond your control. So when people say that you don't need luck to win, you do to some extent, right? Yeah. Maybe at some smaller show, you can get away with being unlucky and having bad things happen to you. At the Olympia, nope. Nope. You have to have some amount of luck. Yeah. So you can be as confident and as ready as you could possibly be and still have things go wrong.
100%. Yeah. I'm glad you said it. People don't get that. And in all success, there's a little bit of a luck factor involved.
Yes.
You know, my success as a coach, I had luck factor involved. You know, I went to a new gym when I started like coaching, and my coaching exploded. Like it was just like luck how that happened. Like I just ended up in the right spot at the right time. And then I ran with it, of course, but I needed to be in that lucky situation to get to that initial blow up, right? Which caused everything to waterfall from there. So I'm very like understanding that I'm in a fortunate and blessed situation, just like you know, how if you didn't run into that coach that did a competition, you probably would have never looked at competition competing, you know, like it was luck that we ran into certain situations that got us here. But yeah, winning the Olympia, no one is going to be perfect in all aspects, whether we're talking about sleep, their complexion, their hair, their hormones, their everything.
One suit stone might fall off.
and just how the judges are judging you that day. You know, what if, you know, bikini's very subjective.
You got pushed to the side and then it's a really bad angle for you or something, or some girl covers you up with her arm. Yeah.
The lighting could be out on one side of the stage. I've been at shows where the lighting on the right side of the stage was darker than the lighting on the left side of the stage. And so the left side, the girls looked washed out because they were super bright, and the right side, they were too dark. Like that middle perfect, everyone looked like perfect. You know, it's just like, I mean, that's not going to happen at the Olympia, you know, I hope, but I mean, I would really doubt that would happen at Olympia, but that happens. You know, there's always going to be a factor, like a luck factor. Maybe you're a better poser on your left side and you end up on the right side of the stage, which is perfect for the judge's angle. But if you're better on the other side and you're on the other side of the angle and they call out a top 10 call out and you're on the far left, well, you're on your bad side and you're on the far left and you have to work your way to the middle. You might not get work to the middle because that's your bad side, you know? So, you know, there's a lot, people don't understand that in everything there's going to be a luck factor, and it's just a matter of if it's your day, you know? And if the 5th place girl at the Olympia is like, she's walking in on Friday and she's 5th place, right? Everything stayed the same, but then all 1 through 4 have bad sleep, bad hair, and got a giant pimple on their nose or a sty on their right eye, right? Like, and 3 of them started their period and are bloated that day. Guess what? 5th place just moves up the ranks and she looks awesome that day, right? She gets first. So, Yeah, people don't get, like, there is a lot that goes into winning it that is out of your control, and you need to just accept that. Hey, I'm doing what I can within my control. When we're nitpicking these perfect, beautiful women on stage, like, you're literally splitting hairs.
Yes.
Like, they're all perfect. Like, none of them are not perfect outside of in any other environment besides this one where they're less than perfect, right? Like, look at them. I mean, they're all pretty, tiny, fit, round. Like, there's no other scenario where you would even look at them and try to find something off with them besides this one. So it's like, you gotta find it. You gotta pick the winner.
Yes. So I love that we both share this mindset, and I always will say, you'll never catch me saying, yeah, I'm going to win this. Right. And you're the same way. You're never going to say, yeah, Ashley's going to win this. And when you like kind of combat people that think it's weird to think that way, or they think, oh no, you need to think that you're going to win. You got to believe you're going to win. Otherwise it's not going to happen. I can't stand that. Because guess what? I've never thought that way, and I've been pretty darn successful. I won 3 Olympias with that same mindset that I still have today. And it's just what you said. I'm going to do everything in my power to come in my absolute best. But at the end of the day, it's out of my hands. This is a sport where you can't play defense, right? It's not like, and even in track, you can play a little defense, right? You see a girl coming up, you're running 400 meters, she's coming up on your shoulder, so you sprint a little faster. Guess what? That doesn't happen in bikini, because it's, what am I going to do? Like, go back in time with a time machine and not eat 60 carbs yesterday? You can't do that. So I'm really strong in that mindset. And for the longest time, people try to convince you that that's the wrong mindset, because you need to convince yourself you're going to win. I believe it's possible I can win, but I can't with a straight face and all seriousness say I'm going to win. So do you feel like people put that kind of verbiage onto you as well? Like, hey, Ashley's going to win this. Ashley's going to win this. And then you're in a position like, we'll see, I don't know.
That's what I always say too. Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Is it awkward for you? Because it's awkward for me, because I feel like I'm arguing with the person that's trying to hype me up, but I'm trying to be like, I'm going to try.
I always just say thanks and appreciate the confidence. And, no one's ever going to tell you anything besides that. I think it's like showing in support, but also I think people get that mindset from other sports and they try to relate it to ours. Like you said, like there was a giant boxing match this weekend, which I saw was crazy, like once in a lifetime boxing match. And the guy who won, who everyone thought wasn't going to win, they were like, when did you think you were going to win? He's like, when he signed the contract. That's when I knew I was going to win. But you guys didn't believe me, right? That's different. You're fighting for your life there, right? Like, it's different, right? Like, you control that, right?
You control the outcome.
Exactly.
Judges will control the outcome for the most part at our shows.
Yeah, it's a totally different thing. You just have to control what you can control the controllables, and whatever else happens. So like, I think people see that stuff and they see it on TV, and that him saying that is so like, whoa, it's so like powerful, right? But it's like, you can't, if you're going to think that way, you're going to be really disappointed very often in this sport. So yeah, the thing about it too is that a lot of these people haven't been through what we've been through. The calls that kind of didn't make sense, the strange ones where it's like, huh? Okay. Like, that happens all the time, in bikini. So it's like, you could win first place, but I'm also not going to be shocked if you slip a couple places this year. Right. Like, if it was like below 10th, I'd be shocked. But even in the top 10 in the first call, I'd be like, okay, yeah, whatever. It's the Olympia. It's like, it's just so, people just don't get that. Like, the sport has it's not even just the variabilities of who they like that day, but it's like the
volatile. We used to use to describe it.
Right? Volatility of the sport, and then just the unknown progressions and regressions of the sport that may or may not happen at the Olympia to set the standard for that year. Like, we've seen that too, which may not have been done directly, but happened based on the athlete that they picked. And it kind of changes the scope of bikini just a little bit, right? There's been a couple occurrences where a returning champion would come back and they went with something completely different. And it's like, that doesn't really make sense if she was the standard, right? So like, there's things that happen, you could look at different scenarios, like maybe like when Issa won and her waist was so tiny and she was so X-framed, and they're like, maybe that wasn't, maybe that was too X-framed and too tight for a bikini, and we need to scale it back a little bit, right? And she comes the same way and then gets pushed down quite a bit. Like, there's factors that come back, when Janet came back, she didn't look much worse. I thought she looked great. So it's like, what are they going with this year and what do they want the bikini to look like? Because that's the crown jewel. It's like, okay, these top 3 girls are what we want bikini to look like, and this is what we're going to have the standard for the year of 2026. And hopefully that's you, right? Hopefully that's you that day.
And it's possible. We're not saying it's not possible, but we just keep it realistic. You know, I think I was only able to get as far as I did because I'm super realistic, almost overly realistic sometimes, but it is what it is. And it doesn't come from a place of not being confident. I'm just being real.
Yeah. And I want to tell you guys too, we set it up that way. It still hurts. Both of us. Like it still hurts. Like there's, we'll be in our feels when it doesn't go our way sometimes. Like Ashley is not immune to that. I'm not immune to it either. I'm not immune to getting mad about it, So it's like, I'm better about it now. I used to be way worse. Now I'm just taking it on the chin and just like, it's not going to get you anywhere if you complain, Adam. It's not going to get you anywhere. Just shut up. Get out of here as fast as you can before you say something stupid. Just get out of here. So it's zero positive return on any time I do it. So, it definitely, we're probably going to have 5 more of those moments minimum in our career.
Yeah.
Where we're like,
unfortunately, if we keep going,
I need to leave right now before I do that. I need to leave. Just take my phone and let me go. So, it's bikini, man. It's a lot of ups and downs here in bikini, man. A lot of ups and downs.
Absolutely. So, question: what is the most nerve-wracking moment for you?
First call out.
Sitting in the
zero question.
Me too.
That
me too. When they
Ashley,
they take so long.
That effing moment.
It's the longest moment.
I wish I could just take a drug, like just to put me out at that moment. Just hook me up and just knock me out for 20 seconds.
Right? Can you just can I not be Adam Bonilla for 20 seconds?
Dude,
right? Can I be someone else and then get back into your own body?
Yeah. Just shut me off while the last girl does her posing routine until the first call out. Because that is
such a long.
If I ever have, I hope I never do, but if I ever have like a faint or a heart attack or something like at an event, it'll be there at that moment. Literally like I'm doing cardio. My heart rate is going up, which is so weird because I'm so calm and collected. I go in all the, I get in pressure situations all the time. Even in my other hobbies, like there's like just constant pressure situations and my heart rate will go up a little bit, but that sustained, prolonged
my heart rate's already up. Yeah. Just thinking about first call, my heart, I'm like, get me like a test right
and
now.
As soon as they get to like close to your number, because they go in numerical order, right? And you're in the middle, like it'd be great if you were like an A.
Remember that
just
one
get the
time,
job done.
That one time, I think it was in one of the Canadian shows. I think they forgot to call my number for first call out, and we're just like, oh dang. And it was like a smaller show too, like 8 girls. And I'm like, oh dang, I didn't get first call out. Shoot. Dang, I've really
we had to talk about your career after that point.
Like, I've fallen so far in 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But yeah, so just know, just like us, I'm sure all the other athletes are feeling that same like, oh my gosh. Now, I will say this. I can only think of one advantage of having 71 girls compete at the Olympia this year. There's only one for me anyway. There might be a possibility that they do a double stacked vertical or diagonal row. On the diagonal. Yes. Like with the double stacked. Because if I'm in the back, that's great because you can't see how nervous I am because I'm going to be like, you know what I mean? But when you're in that first row of the diagonal, you have to like keep it together. You have to keep it tight. Whereas in that, row 2 or 3, you're like chilling, like no one can see me.
Yeah.
Unless you're like super tall, but no one's gonna be able to see me. So hopefully I can hide behind some
people. You get
about
a 50% shot.
Yeah. Hopefully I can hide behind some people during the first call out when they're doing it. And
there's no moment like that. It's no moment like that. I mean, it's the whole year. The whole year comes down to that moment, it's just the stress of it. But yeah, we're both like, it's coming. We're like 3.5 weeks to it.
These are the thoughts I think about before I go to sleep. Like the first call, just like replaying in my head, like, how's it going to go? Hopefully I'm in so that's a big thing for me. The first call, I think, is where I get the most nervous.
Yeah.
And then if I know that I did well and I'm going to place, that's also kind of nervous when they do the placings. But the first call out is way more nerve-wracking. That's the moment that is like,
yeah,
it will make or break you.
I think we're both on the same page with that.
Mhm.
Like it's because I think we're both very understanding that the volatility of it could be anywhere on that placing. But the first call, it's like, okay, at least we're
Right.
we're in the mix, and that's fine. Like
We
even if it
got- we
slips a
got-
little, you're still in that first
Yeah,
call. You're in
yeah.
the you're in the mix. It's
Okay. Yeah.
so yeah.
So, what is going through your mind when we're on stage? Like, are you thinking you better not stumble, or you better push harder, or what is it? What is it?
So at the Olympia, it's actually an analysis of like I'm deep in analysis on what the main competition is looking like, so I can relay that information to you when you get off stage. That's really what it is. So it's more so very focused at what they're looking like and how, if needed, we can change anything for your for you to get in when you're in that first call out next to them potentially, and even assessing that everything was still done right. Like, so if it's a show where it's like, let's say it's Olympia and the 4 main girls you're competing against that I'm looking at, and they're shredded in the tie-ins and they're shredded in the hamstrings, and I'm going to be like, and you showed up like the way we need you to show up, I'll be like, oh shit, I guess this year's a hamstring year. Yeah. What the hell happened, right? And then I'll run back or text you if I can't, because I can't get back there. It would be like, we're gonna have to push harder in the back pose. We're gonna have to do this a little bit more in the back pose because X and X are looking like this, and everyone's looking like that. Everyone's pushing harder. Everyone changed their pose up a little bit or whatever. So that type of thing. So it's kind of one of those things. So it's more like, okay, this is the time for you to do be on it right now. Like what you're looking like, what everyone else is looking like. And if what the main competition is looking like too, hey, if you get in the first call out next to whoever, open up your shoulders a little bit more, or whatever, that type of scenario. So that's kind of what it is. It's not it's definitely not like a relaxing fun thing. And then it's just like, okay, just make sure she gets through her posing routine and she doesn't do anything, look for any errors that she's doing, whether it's breathing in transitions or whatever the case is, letting her stomach out or whatever, but you don't do. Things like this, little things that could happen, just making sure that they're not happening. And then we just confirm that you're pushing hard enough for the day and whatnot too. So it's kind of more just, is everything being done according to what it looks like the standard's going to be that day? And if things are too much, pull back. If things are too little, pull more, push more, that type of thing. So
interesting. That is very interesting. So you have to pay really close attention.
Yeah.
Then, have you ever thought about binoculars?
No, but I probably should.
People using binoculars?
Yeah, why haven't I thought about it?
I mean, I feel like I see them in other sports. I don't know if I've seen them in bodybuilding.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bring your binoculars, everyone.
Yeah, usually I'm in a decent enough seat there, but it is always a gamble if I'm going to get a good seat or not. But and I will say, to our audience, thank you guys very much. Every year, there's been someone that I've reached that has just like had a seat for me that I didn't know. Actually, most of them I didn't know. I think one time James saved me a seat like right next to him and we're close, but every other time has been just like someone I didn't even know that was like an audience or that listened to our podcast.
So this is an announcement. If you're at the Olympia for prejudging bikini, save Adam a seat if you're in a good one.
Yeah.
You got an extra seat.
Yeah, just put a thing next to you and then you see me, like, call me over.
Get one of these cutouts and put them in there. Yeah. Or a sign that says reserved from Adam for Adam B.
Yeah.
Can't sit here. It's Adam B.
The positive part of it is I get a seat. The negative part of it is they tend to want to talk a little during that time. And I'm like, I would love to just be like, I'd love to talk to you later if we can, because this is a moment for me. I don't know how many of these moments I have in my life. This is a moment for me. So but yeah, I will say thank you to the audience, because that's happened it's happened every time. There's never been a time because I'm always with you in the back, and then by the time I get there, all the seats are gone. But it's always someone's like, oh, hey, Adam, come up here. I got a seat right next to me. And I'm like, I love you. Who are you? Like, it's sweet. If you, actually, what? We'll do a thing. If you see me and you're that person to save a seat for me, I'm going to give you a posing suit this year. I wish I could remember who saved it for me last year. but yeah, I'll do that. We'll get a posing suit for that person.
Oh, that's very wholesome.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll entice me, make sure that keeps going. The streak keeps going.
Yes. And bonus points if you can get like some cushioning because it's going to be a long show.
I'm going to bring my seat cushion.
Bring a tent.
I've been so
bring a cooker.
I've been so into chairs lately.
I know.
Kimber, she thinks it's so dumb. It's so funny. I was in the bed the other day and I was looking at this chair. I didn't even know I was doing it. And then I said out loud and I was watching. I was like, wow. She's like, what are you doing? I was like, this, look at how this is made. Like, look at, I was like, she's like, she's cracking up. But I mean, it is so, yeah, because I think it's so important. Yeah, how important I think beds and chairs are, like, because you're in them so much, so anyway, that's a side. I'll just send you, like, I've been watching this guy. His name is Honestly, AHN. His last name I think is On, and he like reviews all these chairs, and he's talking.
Dang, he makes a living off of reviewing chairs.
Bro, 100,000 plus subs, and he gets chairs sent to him for free. He gets chair giveaways. He gets sponsors.
Dang, like, it's all about that chair life,
dude. But there's a big difference.
There is such a market for enthusiastic people wanting to sit in chairs.
Well, because people really, if you spend a lot of time in them, like in an office job, right, you should be spending it. Yeah. So I'm getting the Embody chair. It's called the Embody. So it's but it's like I'm in my bed a lot.
Does that mean it takes your body fat percentage while you
it should for the price. It
weight
should.
and body fat
but it's
percentage.
but there's all these. You didn't know chair science is crazy. So my pillows are crazy. My chairs are crazy. My bed. Those are the important things, but people underestimate them. So that's what I never understood about people is that they'll spend 50, 60,000 on a car, right? And they're going to keep it for 4 years. It's going to be a depreciating asset. It's going to be worth 20 grand in 5 years when they sell it, right? And then when it's their bed, they just sleep in the same bed for like 10 years, right? And I'm like, you're going to spend 50,000 on a car that depreciates at 50% in 5 years. And you're going to sleep in the same bed throughout the whole time when you're in your bed a third of your life.
Do you feel that it's just a hassle to get rid of mattresses? So maybe that's it.
Maybe
it's such an inconvenience to get rid of.
But if you're
so
like, there's just certain things. Your feet for shoes need to be right, because you're in them. You're walking.
I'm breaking all your.
You're breaking all my rules.
I get like Amazon cheap. Crap. $20 tennis shoes and stuff like that. My chair, I don't know. It works. That's all I know.
I don't ever care about like being rich, right? But the same, like, you don't need a high income to live better than kings did back in the day now. Because you could afford things that they couldn't have. Like the luxuries you have are super affordable. They couldn't have air conditioning. They couldn't have, right? So we all live better than kings. And then we're like sleeping in $400 mattresses when we could have maybe you spend $1,500 on a crazy mattress, but you keep it for 10 years. You sleep good for 10 years times 8 hours a day. That's so much time. So anyway, I think if a third of my life is in this chair, in shoes, or in a seat, it's going to be the best one I could get for my body. So anyway, that's it. I think you all should do that.
If you take anything away from this podcast,
it's going to help you
to get Olympia, a good chair
too. Like, think about your sleep, your, all the little things, all the little.
Yes. You could be winning the Olympia, but you're sitting in a crappy chair. So
what if?
Yeah.
That's small
what
percentage.
If that's the game changer? What if you get interviewed a year later after winning and you said, what was it that changed? The chair.
The chair. You say,
chair that I'm sitting in.
You'll say, well, I felt more energized because my back was never hurting because I was sitting in the right ergonomic chair, and my feet never hurt. I could always do cardio because I had my feet, I had the right shoes. These things matter.
Yeah. Very true.
We live better than kings did now. Anyone with even basic level of air conditioning.
They didn't even have stevia back then. You know what I'm saying?
Stevia.
They didn't have stevia. So.
Yeah. Well, back
Diet Coke.
Back then, no one ever got fat. They didn't even worry about it. Someone got fat.
They got fat.
Or they
in the medieval times, like the kings and stuff.
The kings did.
Well, they eat a lot of sugar to make.
Yeah, but if you got fat back then, it was like, how did you do that? Like, how did you even accumulate? Everyone was in shape. Because there wasn't any, the food was but it was like a sign of royalty if you got fat now, where I guess things have flipped.
Peasants like ourselves would never be fat.
Yes, exactly.
In the medievals. So
how do our podcasts go? It's always me. It's always me that gets it. Right? How do we even go to these places? It's always me. 100%.
During this week, you have about 6 of us, but typically let's apply it to even a big show. During peak week, there's a lot of emotions, a lot of uncertainty with the athletes. How do you navigate that? Because I know for me, I'm definitely way more emotional on peak week. I remember like 2 years ago freaking out in your office here saying like, I'm not going to be ready for Olympia. Oh my gosh, I'm not lean enough. And it was like 3 days out and I was definitely way lean. So it definitely can play with your head. Now, how do you handle this? And do you feel like there's an uptick in emotions during this week? And how do you handle it? Do you say too bad, go away?
No. It's, sometimes it's just you gotta let them vent.
Yeah.
They just gotta get it out and you gotta reassure them. But it's just the situation, it's just the situation. It's just too high pressure of a situation,
Don't think of me on peak week. Don't think of me like when you think of Ashley, don't think of peak week Ashley. Think of like, middle of the year Ashley.
That is the highest stress. I would say it's a worse version. It's the highest stress version of an Ashley. Yeah, it's the peak, the peak of the Ashley stress level. But it's still, you do pretty good with it considering.
Yeah, I mean, this year feels a little more stressful and a little more pressure. But the good news is, there is good news. I tend to do well under pressure, so there's that. But
your body tends to show up. It tends to, it rarely, knock on wood, it rarely goes the other direction, but it tends to like know it's time.
Yeah.
Like you wake up and it's like body's like, all right, let me put my shoes on. Let's get this done again. I guess we're getting on stage, and it just like wakes up ready, like even if things are a little bit looking off on like the Thursday, Friday, you're like just a little off, like wake up, hey, look at that. It came together.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, it comes together, So I think some of that too is like the mindset of like, well, it's done is done. Like when I go to, this is my last sleep, and whatever I wake up, and like maybe you can, I don't know if you relax a little bit at that point, but there's just nothing that can be done at that point. So it's like, so.
I definitely don't relax the day before.
Yeah. I hope I could sleep. I never know.
I've been trending at 3 hours of sleep the night before Olympia for the past like 3 years.
I've been doing a little better, but
3 hours is not good. And it sucks, but can't control it.
Yeah. You're in a different situation. I mean, you're the what comes with what it just, that is the thing that comes with what you've accomplished is so much weight, you carry more weight than like you and the current champion, I would say, would carry the most weight. Like that makes sense. I mean, I guess it makes first and second, right? So, I mean, but just, so many people are looking and stuff, and it's like, yeah, it just comes with it.
Yeah.
So, everyone wants to get to the top of the mountain until they realize what comes with it, So
absolutely. So would you say that dealing with the athlete stress is the hardest part of prepping them for Olympia, or what is the hardest part?
My stress comes from, did I do everything right and second guessing it every time? Because I'll still do that. I'll still, we could have pushed harder, or, she could be fuller. Should we have stayed an extra of this, there's like scenarios that don't make, like, you have to, if you're going to be successful, you have to take risks as a coach too. Like you can't always be safe, and so,
because safe is like middle of the road.
I mean, I would rather fail spectacularly or win than end up in the middle all the time. But the problem is that you better be willing to take a risk where it's embarrassing if you fail, but also be like ready to accept the rewards if you win, right? And and with you, it's different. It doesn't apply like that to you because you don't change something that's already working. That's another thing you don't do. Like you would be crazy to like say, oh, we're gonna bring a whole different package and bring in Ashley shredded this year, 2% leaner than last year. That would, why? You got second place. Whatever. Like even if we could get second, even if you're just shooting for that again, it's fantastic,
Absolutely.
But like, so that wouldn't make sense to take a risk of like, okay, let's go for first or like 15th, and we're gonna go with a totally different look. Like that's crazy. But like, for example, like someone with like Tiana would make sense, right? Where she's gaining right now still 3.5 weeks out from the Olympia, right? That's a huge risk. Like the safe money is like, okay, we're way too close to be adding calories right now. Let's not try to time this, and let's just get you leaner and just kind of cruise in lean. That's the smart thing I honestly should be doing. But she's not going to win with the current amount of muscle that she has or move up into that top 10 or top 15, which we're shooting for this year. So no, I'm going to take a risk with that. And I'm going to spend every single hour I can gaining muscle with her because she needs it for this level of competition. And I think if I timed it right, we need, well, I looked at it just like an hour ago, 2.5 weeks of dieting to get her there. It's either 2 or 2.5 weeks.
So what you're saying is you're cutting it close with the window of gaining, then cutting. So it's a really sharp turnaround.
It's dramatic. And I don't even know if she has a bad week that first week of cutting and doesn't respond, then, that's a failure spectacularly. Right. But I trust myself. I trust her physique. I trust her metabolism. I trust her settings right now where we should be able to do it, but could be too soft for the Olympia. I don't know. But there's no way that she's moving up the ranks without this option.
Right. It's either try something or get nothing from it.
Yeah. I'm not cool with shooting for the mediocrity of it. Like, cool, it's your first Olympia. Let's just get you, just have fun and just do what you can. Let's just be safe and be lean, bring your traditional look. It's like, no, what if we can get into the top 15? What if, like, our best case scenario, if we take the safe route, is probably going to be 25th in that range. But what if that extra half pound of muscle, which takes 2 weeks, right? What if we can get to that top 15? Like, I want to give you that opportunity, I'll eat it if it didn't work. It's my fault, but so those are the things that are kind of risky, but yeah, you got to be willing to fail spectacularly. If she shows up soft and not ready, that's on me. It's not on her.
It's very scary. So do you think, are you more stressed about her prep or mine? Given there's two different sides to it. Mine carries more weight because I place second, but you're trying something new with her. So in your opinion, which one is the more stress? Oh man, it's a tough one, huh?
So I will say if Tiana doesn't do well, it's not going to be catastrophic to her, right? Or to everyone, because no one has that high expectation for her yet. It's her first one, right? You may too, right? And you may, I'm just trying to balance her out a little bit the last few stages before the Olympia, her lower body to upper body. So it's a little different for her too. But for you, it's just a little bit more, it's just the pressure, the weight and the expectations are there. There's the thing is you're going into it with no expectations of her. And so with you, there is an expectation. I mean,
unfortunately.
Yeah. I guess if the expectations weren't there, the stress of your prep versus her prep, hers would be her actual prep itself is more stressful because so much more of it is on me than you. It's just like, we just have to bring the same thing.
Yeah.
We're not going to be gaining 2.5 weeks into the,
right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you're in shape right now, or you look how you're supposed to look and everything's good. Like if something weird happens, but right now everything looks good. Yeah. So your prep itself is not that stressful.
Yeah. Like, I think I'm a stressful athlete in the sense that I just compete a lot and the burden of expectation to do well. But when it comes to like prep and I feel like I'm not that much of a problem. No. Like
you do your job.
You
do your job.
I don't want to say it's easy, but I don't usually have problems with it. And also if I have any questions to ask, I try not to be overly specific. Cause I know if I ran out of brown rice and I have white, I know you'd say, yeah, it's fine. You know what I mean? So I kind of know how you think. So I kind of answer some of my own questions just from knowing you. And I think that kind of hopefully is a little bit helpful. But no,
super. Yeah, that's the thing. All the easy thing, it's more of it's like your preps have evolved to the point where it's kind of like we do it as like a team where it's like, how are you feeling? I feel like you're looking pretty lean. You're like, yeah, I feel about where I should at 3 weeks. And you'll pinch your side here and you'll be like, and then I'll look for the little things that we know of, the little tendon separation lines in your leg and the side of your leg and the cheekbones and the little things that start showing up where we have all these little thermometers of, okay, she's here where she should be. And then we've done it so much. We have that good communication about it. So when we're doing our check-ins in person, you could point at things and be like, yeah, at 4 weeks last time I was here. And I'm like, yeah, you were, let's go a little harder. Or, you're like, hey, at 4 weeks, I do feel leaner than I need to be at 4 weeks. I'm like, yeah, I'm seeing the tendon lines. I'm seeing this. And so, that's where things become a little bit easier we both have a very good awareness of where you're at too. So it's
helpful. My goggles get a little foggy though during the Olympia.
just with being
my prep goggles.
At the end, you'll either think you're too lean or not lean enough. And that's something that
sometimes I have to negotiate carbs.
Respectfully to you, I will try my best to ignore the panicked part of it. So I'll be like, is she right or is she panicked? Is she right or is she panicked? And then I'll like, okay, what would you say if she didn't say any input at all? What would you say? Like, no, I would say you're right. So we're going to go with that.
Okay. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that's how, because, it takes a minute. And I do always going to take into consideration what you're saying. And then I have to be like, all right, is this prep goggle, Ashley, or is this real, normal, relaxed, looking at herself, right, Ashley?
I don't take offense to that because I don't trust my own judgment close to a show. And that's why we have coaches too, Coaches have coaches. So like I'm fully aware that my prep goggles get foggy. I know it. And the clients I work with, they have the same thing. It's like a commonality. It's rare for someone to be like 2 weeks out. Yep. This is, I'm good to go. Perfect. This is great. No, there's usually like a debate in your head. Like, am I too lean? No, I'm not lean enough. Oh, well, I need more pop, or you know what I mean? So I will always second guess everything till the last day, especially with the Olympia. I don't think I do that as much with the smaller shows, but like the Olympia, I definitely do.
Yeah. It's understandable. I mean, it's such a crazy show, Yes. It's really crazy. And every year, you do this, you're very good at this, but I like that you take it in, I take it into, or I just take a moment when I walk in. It's very woo of me, right? Which I'm not a woo guy. I've been doing that a little bit lately, right? And I take it in and I'm like, to just absorb that you're here and that you're able to do this and that you're blessed to be able to like be part of something that's so amazing, And it's like, sometimes it hits you, you're like, this is effing crazy. Like, this is so cool,
Yeah.
I grew up watching bodybuilding and watching shows and whatnot. And I was like, I worked supplement booths for free just so I could be there, like I loved bodybuilding so much as a kid, And so like to get to the Olympia and like be like coaching, like the best bikini athlete of all time. It's like, dude, this is crazy this is a crazy thing. Who knows how, this type of thing will ever happen again in life. You're, an injury away, any athlete, right? An injury away, a health thing away from not being able to do it again. So it's like, we got to sit back and appreciate it and absorb it and be like, man, this is so cool that you do this, that you've done it this year, So
sometimes what helps me is just trying to convince myself it's not that serious at the end of the day, even though it is. But somehow I'll just try to convince myself it's not that serious. It's just a day, And I also remind myself of gratitude as well, because I feel like that helps a lot. Like, you come this far, no matter what happens, like, hey, you've had a pretty good run no matter what. So I always have to remind myself that. And I promised myself after I won 3 Olympias, anything else after those 3 is just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
I got the cake. I ate the cake, burned it off. But like, sometimes it's good to have some gratitude and just remind yourself how far you've come, what you've accomplished already just to get to that point. And, and think of like everyone who wishes one day they could be on that stage, because there's so many girls that wish that maybe one day they can even just qualify for it. And, we're back every year. So we got to remind ourselves of that.
Yeah, I agree. So,
yes. Well, I think that wraps it up.
Okay, cool. Yeah. You know what? There was a,
what is it?
I wanted to go into one of these things too.
Okay.
Just one. Cause there's a couple of like bullet points that we had here that we read off these bullet points kind of get, but, a couple was like growth, legacy in the future, right?
Actually, I have one more question for you too.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what is the most memorable Olympia moment for you? And it doesn't have to be anything to do with me. It could be you saw the Mr. Open Olympia winner or something and he broke down and cried. I don't know. What is the most memorable moment for you? And the only catch is you have to be there. You can't see it on a screen. I mean, there.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you cried after you got a first call out.
Oh, that was a good moment.
Yeah. When you cried and came back. I
couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Cause you're not an emotional, you're not you're a girly girl in some ways, but you're like my homeboy in another, you know what I mean? Like yeah. And so that one was like, that was a big one. It was I remember cause you're wearing your maroon thing and you came back and you were like you couldn't believe it. And there's parts of that to me where
we had it on film too, not the initial coming out, but like in the hotel. Yeah. It's for me, it's like for you, it's like, it's funny. It's like you less believe it, right? You're like, I can't believe it. And for me, I'm like, of course you did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, of course you got it. Like, why are we even like, why are we even like shocked by this? You know what I mean? Like, of course you got it. Like, you know, so, but it was great to see you see that and see that you were, it was like the self-belief and the self realization of like, I am good. I am like, cause you're hard on yourself, you know, maybe I'm just putting words in your mouth, but like, I felt like that moment was like, I got it. I still got it. I'm good at this. Like, I'm there, man. Like, I'm right there. To add some additional context, why that was so special is ever since my comeback in 2018, each year I would place one lower. So I got 5th and then 6th. And then in 2020, I got 7th. That was the only time that I've ever gotten a second call in any show ever. 2020, got 7th place. So you can imagine my thoughts, you know, after 3 years, I'm going down and I'm getting worse. So in my mind, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm getting worse and I'm getting worse. So it's like frustrating, but to kind of come back up into the mix was truly something incredible because I kind of made up for the lost years that I was going down. Cause then I got 3 more of the 3rd places. So, but yeah, that meant extra more to me because I just came out of a rut. You know, I was getting lower. Now I got higher. So that was really good.
It's good for everyone to see out there. You know, don't let the, you know, if you just, there's some people that are probably trending down and then, you know, go right up. You go right up.
Usually it works the other way around. So I'm happy that I was able to get out of that rut. And I will say too, that was my second most memorable Olympia moment. I have to give it to 2013.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
2013.
It should be your 4th most, but okay, I'll take it.
2013 was my best moment at the Olympia because I won the Olympia as an underdog. No one knew who I was.
You shocked the world, man.
I shocked the world, but
everyone was talking about it.
So that, you know, and I never expected any of that. I just wanted to like make it to the stage. So that takes number 1, but number 2 is that one for that reason. I just got out of the rut and it felt so nice.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that was a fun one. So I'm glad you asked that question. That was a good way to do it. And we're gonna leave it there. I think that's it. We don't need to go into those questions because that was like a great one right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it brings me back to that moment. That would probably be my favorite bodybuilding moment. There's that one, you know, Kimber getting a first call. She got 3rd in one of their shows. That was pretty special too. Getting her first like pro medal. There's been some cool Tiana winning her first pro show. That was like crazy, you know? Yeah, that was good. I mean, there's some big ones, you know, Phoebe winning the Arnold. You know, that was pretty crazy. You winning the Arnold. I mean, there's like, yeah, there's some like, luckily I have a pretty big library of a success. I've had this many years. I mean, it's been like 20, gosh, I don't know, 20 plus years. But yeah, there's just been some really crazy things. I hope to have. I'm never going to stop doing this. There's never going to be a time where I stop doing this. It'll change. I'm sure at one point, you know.
I might be your only client at one point.
Yeah, like I think in the future it'll be, you know, it'll be like, of course, we're already like this like smaller team, and but it'll change. But it just, I love it too much as a sport, like not as a sport, like with you guys, like your sport, as my sport, competing against other coaches with my brain, you know, like with my methods in my brain, like when I see someone gaining momentum and I'm like, don't get comfortable there, bro. Cause I'm coming. Like you're doing well because I allow that, because I'm not trying to compete against you with as many people right now. But if I want to, if I get pissed off enough, I will crush you with my methods, right? I want to keep it right here. You know, so that's funny because I still get like riled up with that stuff when it happens, but I'm like, I promise you I'll give my all if I get in that mindset of like, but I just don't want 100 athletes. You know what I mean? I want, but the way that I compete, I can't stop. I can't do it. I understand like how like guys like him can keep going for so long. It's like, it's just something that is so, it's a sport, you know, it's a sport in itself. The coaching is a sport, but people don't get that part of it. So yeah, it's fun, man. I love it. So I'll never stop. Anyway, with that, I guess that's it. This was a fun one.
Yes.
I liked it. Thank you guys so much. And I want to give another thing for our analysis, what you said about the Olympia and going pro. I do want to point out that Dana Onaga says in the comments here, she said, I invested so much for my mattress and it made a huge difference. I don't want to say it's causation, but she did get her pro card and she's doing really well as a pro. So I don't, you know, she won her first pro show.
Dang. Are you saying like I should replace my mattress? Maybe I could win if I replace.
I'll go. If that's the case, yeah, let's go get it. Like right now.
It's definitely the chair. Actually,
it's the chair. It's the chair. Okay. Well, hey, there it is. That's how we get those extra points. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Talk to you later.